Christian Picciolini was once the nationally known leader of a local neo-Nazi skinhead gang.
Christian Picciolini, a former skinhead,
was a self-described neo-Nazi skinhead from the age of 14 to 21.
Joining us on the panel today, former white supremacist, author of Romantic Violence, Memoirs of an American Skinhead, Christian Picciolini.
These days, Christian Picciolini tries to help others leave the skinhead movement just like he did. And Scott, he's co-founded a nonprofit organization called Life After Hate.
Important insight tonight. Dean, thank you very much.
You might be asking yourself right now, how does a good kid from a hardworking immigrant family end up going down such a dark path? One word: potholes. That's right, potholes. I had a lot of potholes when I was a kid. We all have them. You know, the things in life that we hit that invariably just kind of nudge us off our path, and if they remain unresolved or untreated or not dealt with, sometimes we can get dangerously lost down pretty dark corridors. My journey away from violent extremism began 22 years ago when I denounced racism and left the American white supremacist skinhead movement that I'd helped build. Growing up, I felt abandoned. I was lonely, and I started to withdraw. And then I started to resent my parents and become very angry. And as I was growing up, through my teenage years, I started to act out to try and get attention from my parents. For 14 years, I'd felt marginalized and bullied. I had low self-esteem. And frankly, I didn't know who I was, where I belonged, or what my purpose was. But then my life changed. At 19 years old, I met a girl who was not in the movement, who didn't have a racist bone in her body. And I fell in love with her. And at 19, we got married, and we had our first son. And when I held my son in my arms in the delivery room that day, not only did I reconnect with some of the innocence that I had lost at 14 years old, but it also began to challenge the very important things that drew me to the movement to begin with: identity, community, and purpose, things that I had been struggling with as a young boy. And now I struggled with the concept of who I was again, and suddenly, like a ton of bricks hit me. I became very confused with who I'd been for the last 8 years. And if only I'd been brave enough to walk away at that moment, to understand what the struggle was that was happening inside of me, then maybe tragedy could have been averted. I lost nearly everything in my life. I used it as an opportunity to walk away from the movement that I'd been a part of for 8 years, the only identity, community, and purpose that I'd really known for most of my life. So I had nobody. I lost my livelihood because I closed the store. I didn't have a great relationship with my parents, even though they tried. And my wife and children left me because I hadn't left the movement and disengaged quickly enough. Who walks right by me but Mr. Johnny Holmes, the tough black security guard I'd gotten in a fist fight with that got me kicked out the second time. He recognized that it wasn't the story of some broken, go-nowhere kid who was gonna just join a gang and go to prison. He knew that this was the story of every young person who was vulnerable, who was searching for identity, community, and purpose, and then hit a wall and was unable to find it and went down a dark path. And he made me promise one thing, that I would tell my story to whoever would listen. That was 18 years ago. and I've been doing it ever since. So I would like to leave you with a challenge. Go out there today, tomorrow, hopefully every day. Find somebody that you think is undeserving of your compassion and give it to them, because I guarantee you they're the ones who need it the most. Thank you very much.